If you were to search on Google for the 10 largest economies in Africa, the list will have Nigeria sitting right at the top with a GDP of $477.38 billion in 2023. But then you turn on the news and you see this. Unilever, GSK, Sanofi Aventis, Bolt Food, Jumia Food, Equino, Procter & Gamble. Wait, what is going on? Why are these big foreign companies leaving the largest economy in Africa? In this episode of Declassified on News Central TV, we will show you what companies are leaving, why they are leaving, and how this will affect you, the average Nigerian consumer. Over 7 multinationals have decided to quit Nigeria between January 2023 and now. Top on that list are Unilever, the producers of products such as Omo detergent, as well as Sunlight and Lux. Few months after Unilever decided to leave, another giant, GSK plc, a British multinational pharmaceutical and biotechnology company, announced an end to manufacturing operations in Nigeria. To put things in perspective, GSK is the second largest drug producer in Nigeria. When you hear of prescription medicines like Augmentin or drugs like Ampiclos, even common ones like this paracetamol right here, they are all products of this giant company. Well, not to be left alone, Sanofi Aventis, this French pharmaceutical company, also decided to quit Nigeria, appointing a third-party distributor for its commercial portfolio of medicine instead. These departures were then followed by those of Bolt Food, Jumia Food, and even this US consumer goods powerhouse known as Procter & Gamble. Yeah, the makers of your beloved baby pampers, Gillette, Ariel, Always, and even Oral-B. But you know where it hurts? They've been running their 2 manufacturing plants in Ibadan, Oyo State, and Agbara, Ogun State for the past 30 years. So, what happened that the company executive will wake up one morning and describe Nigeria as, quote, problematic for the corporation? Well, it is the same problem that led Equino Nigerian Energy Company, a Norwegian energy corporation which holds a 53.85% ownership in oil mining lease OML 128, including a 20.21% stake in the Agbami field operated by Chevron, to just quit the country as well. Yeah, Equino ended its 30-year presence in the Nigerian energy market when it decided to sell off its business interest to a Nigerian-owned firm, Chapel Energy. But these are just few in the long list of companies to have quit the country in the not-so-distant past. We have Mayor Biscuits Company Limited, Mabisco, an indigenous biscuits company in Ogun State, Nigeria. There was Louis Carter, established in 1989 in Nnewi, Anambra State. They produced plastic gallons, basins, and other plastic products in the good old days. There was Moke Enterprises, once one of the biggest bottled or sachet water companies in Sango Ota, Ogun State. Moke Enterprises closed down in 2021. And then we had Towa Aluminium, which was set up in Nigeria in 1959 and served several homes in the country with aluminium products, including pots, plates, spoons, and even roofing sheets until it closed down in 2020. Technoflex was a player in the industrial plastic sector until Nigeria happened to them in 2017. They had to close down due to rising production costs. Remember Advanced Medicals? Once one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria, it lost its assets due to bad debt. Reports have shown that about 26 oil companies have sold their stakes to domestic investors and pulled out of Nigeria. These include influential giant companies such as Shell, ExxonMobil, and even Eni. And that leaves us with the very painful question you're battling with right now. Why are they leaving? When this US consumer goods giant, Procter & Gamble, decided to quit, the reason they gave was that it was difficult to do business in Nigeria as a dollar-denominated organization. But what does that even mean? The first challenge, as highlighted by these foreign multinationals, is acute scarcity of foreign exchange in Nigeria. Some of these companies need dollars to import raw materials that are not locally sourced. But as it turns out, dollars are more readily available to politicians and their cronies than to business people. Another challenge being faced by these companies is the continued devaluation of the naira. These companies are making terrible losses as a result of this continual devaluation of naira. GSK, for example, before it announced its exit from Nigeria, saw its half-year revenue decrease to 7.75 billion naira from 14.8 billion naira. Nestle, one of the few companies left, posted a 104 billion naira loss over naira depreciation. Between 2015 and 2023, the Nigerian manufacturing sector has lost more than 200 factories, according to Datafight investigations. The president of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria attributed the problem to the power crisis in the country. According to data collected by this association, manufacturers in Nigeria spent 144 billion naira on alternative energy sources in 2022 alone. But that is not even the worst part. In 2014, Procter & Gamble set up a $300 million diaper plant at Agbara, Ogun State. 4 years later, however, in 2018, the company stopped all forms of production at the plant. Now, while the official statement by the company for closure is that it wants to do some restructuring of its operations in order to be more efficient, findings have shown that the company was in fact a victim of the Nigerian system. They were hard hit by high import duties, constant demand of bribes by custom officials, and multiplicity of taxes at Agbara at that time when the plant was still in operation. There was a company called Ken Francis Farms, formed in 2017 to produce and process agricultural products for exports. But that too didn't survive the Nigerian system, as they were chased out by high production costs and lack of access to forex, something fondly called dollar crunch. So these companies are not only battling with naira devaluation, there is the inability to access raw materials. There is the high cost of energy, foreign exchange crisis, policy flip-flop, as the policymakers continue to do trial and error. How about the poor road network, delay of raw materials and finished goods at the seaports? A report revealed that products meant for export sometimes stay at Apapa and tin can ports for weeks, with raw materials constantly being delayed due to lack of scanners for container inspections at the ports. Come on, man, this is supposed to be one of the largest economies in Africa, not a startup company. But what does this mean for the average consumer? How does this affect you and I? A crucial pharmaceutical company like GSK leaving Nigeria is a huge blow to the already stretched healthcare sector. A direct implication is disruptions in disease management, treatment access, and immunization efforts. Without drugs such as amoxicillin, Cevarix, and Bexero, patients face increased risk of cervical cancer and even worse. Disease control could be a challenge when there are disruptions in the supply chain for essential medicines. People with chronic medical conditions may die as a result of interrupted treatment. Asthma patients are already complaining of the high cost of drugs such as Seretide, what we call inhaler. How about the climbing unemployment rate? The exit of P&G alone will result in the loss of over 5,000 jobs. According to the latest half-year survey from the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, the number of jobs lost in the manufacturing sector rose to the highest in 3 years for the first half of 2023. The number increased by 108.7% to 3,567 in the first half of 2023 from 1,709 in the same period of 2022. GSK left Nigeria with a market cap of 22 billion naira. The company had over 400 highly technical workers, microbiologists, biochemists, chemists, dentists, doctors, and etc., and more than 1,000 other staff. Now, it said around 160 of these employees would be laid off as a result of this shift in business strategy in Nigeria. With the rising inflation, how will people survive without jobs? With a market size of $50 million, P&G was a significant investor in the Nigerian economy. Its withdrawal suggests a loss of faith in the country's business environment, a signal that could influence the decision of other foreign investors if they ever consider Nigeria as a viable market for their products. Now, consider a scenario where people are unable to access medical supplies and essential drugs, no jobs, rising inflation, and depleted foreign exchange reserves. Add the current food shortages and the increase in prices of basic household items. What do you think will happen to the crime rate in the country? They say advising the government is like pouring water into a basket. It passes through, but never stays. However, the Nigerian government needs to listen to its people and fix up before it becomes too late. Thank you for watching this episode of Declassified on News Central TV. I'm Jude Bella, and I'll see you in the next one.